Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your girlfriend Chanel here, and today I'm back with some Geoguessr investigations. So, what this is when you hit 950 ELO in Geoguessr, you're able to review cases where people have reported players for suspected cheating, whether that's for scripting or Googling. So, this is going to take place over a couple of weeks, since I might not have all the cases to review today with all of you, which is why it might cut a little bit, and I might be wearing different outfits from case to case. But I wanted to show you all what Geoguessr investigations look like in case you haven't seen them before, and so we could go through this process together of learning what it looks like to investigate cheaters in Geoguessr. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Alright, we've got our first case up here. It's a no move game. The person is in the 900 to 1000 ELO range, and they have 1000 to 2000 duels played. Okay, we see blue on the license plates. We see a language here. I can see it says .pl, the URL on that sign, so I'm already I feel like anywhere in Poland is good. Yeah, I don't think this is a Google. I think this is just them seeing the URL. I mean, maybe it's difficult for some people to see. So if they went back in a review and were like, how did they guess Poland from all this? But there's a ton of language around. There's literally a URL, which is the often most, the biggest giveaway of a country. But yeah, I feel like everything just screams Poland to me, and they were not even too close. So I think that's a not guilty for me. So not guilty for Googling and not guilty for scripting. Or read what this says, since this is the first case I've reviewed on camera, because I did one before just to test it out. So after you're shown the clip, you can submit your verdict. You should presume the suspect to be innocent. If you're confident that the suspect is guilty, select guilty. If you're confident that a suspect is not guilty, select not guilty. If you are not 100% sure, select insufficient evidence. And then there's two kinds of cheating in Geoguessr that we're reviewing. There's scripting, which is the suspect is using scripts to get information about the location. And then there's Googling, which is the suspect is using a search engine to gain information about clues they found in the game. So I think, personally, that it is not guilty for both, because there's a ton of information around, but they didn't stay on the sign too long, and I saw .pl right away. So I think anywhere in Poland definitely makes sense, and they weren't even right on the money. So I think that was just they got a lot of information. Maybe they got information that their opponent didn't see, but for this case we're gonna say not guilty for scripting and not guilty for Googling. Alright, this time we've got duels. It looks like it's moving. 600 to 700 rating range, only 100 to 200 duels played. Let's see how the video goes. Okay. Staring at the sign. Staring at the sign a little too long. I mean, do I ever think they're just reading the sign? How long are they staring at the sign for? Is there a timer here? Let's go back to the beginning. Okay, so they're staring at the sign for over 20 seconds, and they're not even scanning Brazil. I would understand, sometimes you see a sign, and then you, scan for a city name in a certain region if you know it. Or, I don't know. But yeah, that is very weird. I'm pretty sure that's a Google, because, I mean, they got, pretty close. They weren't in the right state, but they were just, looking at the sign for way too long. So I'm gonna say guilty for Googling, not guilty for scripting, because it doesn't seem like... I think it was the scripting. They wouldn't stare at the sign so long, and they probably would have gotten closer. But they were staring at the sign for over 20 seconds, and they weren't even scanning. I understand, if you're looking at the sign and you're scanning for a city name within a state or something like that. You know what I mean? But they just kind of like plonked it in North Brazil. They didn't even like open up into like the right continent or anything. They didn't have like the map like open, I don't think. So I'm gonna go guilty here. All right, looks like we got another case, probably the same person. It's moving mode 600 to 700, 100 to 200 duels played. Okay, they looked at the poll a little bit. They're just looking forward. They're looking at the sign. They see language on it. You zoom out. Houses on stilts maybe on the left. A tile and holy pole though. Yeah, I feel like this seems like a fine guess to me, or at least like insufficient evidence. When we see the tile and holy poles, we see like the dirt, like the side of the road, the text. Like it kind of just like seems like Thailand. Like would someone who's 600, 700 rated get that maybe? Probably. They weren't looking at any particular like sign too long, so I definitely don't think it was Googling. So I'm gonna say not guilty for Googling. For scripting, I mean I think they were looking at things that I would look at if I got into this location, like the pole, the signage, and everything. I don't really think it's scripting either. They got the right country, but they weren't like even on right on the 5K. So I'm gonna say pretty confident, not guilty for Googling. Scripting, I don't know. They could have been closer, but I'm gonna say insufficient evidence. I'm like not sure. I don't think they were scripting, but I can't 100% say that they were not scripting. So I'm gonna go not guilty on Googling and insufficient evidence there. All right, we've got another case here. We're moving, rating range 900 to 1000. Duels played less than 100. I feel like it's really impressive to get 900 to 1000 rating with less than 100 duels. I have so many duels played. And I'm barely there myself. So, yeah, very impressive if you get that. I'm gonna review this one again because it just seems like a very quick like insta plonk, but I don't know if that necessarily means like scripting or Googling or anything. Okay, so what did they get? They got in the right state, but not the right city. I don't think it's Googling because I don't think there's anything to Google here. Like I see like text on the sign on the back of this home on the left, but nothing like with like a city name or anything. So I'm gonna say not guilty for Googling. Scripting, I mean maybe, but wouldn't you've gotten a lot closer? I don't know. It could also be someone like smurfing or something. They just like know that it feels like Wyoming. I'm gonna say insufficient evidence for scripting because I don't know 100%, but I'm gonna say not guilty for Googling because there's not really anything to Google here. All right, we've got another moving game. It's 900 to 1000 rating, 0 to 100 duels played. I think it's the same person. Let's watch the video. We got a holy pole here. We got some trees, road, bush. They're moving a little bit. .nz, okay. I mean, no, yeah. Let's go back again and rewatch this. BritainBuilders.nz. Okay, so they see the .nz URL and they guess in South Island first, so they're just like getting the right country. I mean, like, that's fair. Sometimes I just insta-plonk a country if I don't have region guessing in it, but then I do readjust to North Island. Do I think it's a case of Googling? No, not really. Like, I know there's like the builder's name on the sign, but it doesn't seem like Googling to me. If anything, it's scripting, but I can't. Like, there were too many clues that pointed towards the right country, like the side of the road, like the vegetation, everything. Like, it wasn't like a middle of the nowhere and they like 5K'd. So I'm gonna say not. I'm gonna say insufficient for scripting, and then for Googling, I'm gonna say not guilty. No, I'm gonna say insufficient. I don't know. I guess they could have Googled the sign with the builders thing on it, but yeah. I'm not 100% sure, so 100% sure. All right. Seems like this is another round by the same person. Moving 900 to 1,000, 100, 0 to 100 duels played. Seems very similar. Okay, we're gonna start. Okay, they're not moving even though it's a moving duel, but to be fair, I've done that and like plonked if I known the right country right off the rip. Oh, we're in a truck. Oh, donkey. Hello, donkey. Hello. Are you ever just like staring at the donkey in the truck though if you're in this game? Left side of the road. I mean, okay. So I think there's a few things here. Left side of the road. The vegetation. I mean, the truck is probably the main thing, giving away that it's Kenya. There's not really anything to Google, so I'm going to say not guilty for Googling here. Scripting, I mean, it's possible, I suppose. But I think at like if you're at 900 to 1,000 elo, like maybe you just know the Kenyan trucks, you know? I mean, I think they just plonked Nairobi, right? Like they didn't even like plonk in a specific city. Yeah, that's just a capital plonk. Like that doesn't seem too sus to me. I'm gonna say not guilty for Googling because there's not really even anything to Google. I'll say insufficient for scripting because I'm not sure. Okay, seems like this was a different person. We've got moving game, 600 to 700 rating, 100 to 200 duels played. Let's take a look at it. We've got concrete, we've got the poles. Okay, they insta-sent in Lampung when it was in South Sumatra. Let's re-watch this again. Trees. I mean, okay, it's definitely not a Google, so I'm gonna say not guilty for Googling. There's like no signage, no words that they can type in or anything. Scripting. I mean, I think it's possible that they just like recognize those Indonesia from like the side of the road, like the foliage, the concrete. 600 to 700 level, like you might just know that. And Instasend, like the house on the left is very like Indonesian. Are you ever getting like the right region? Like you could just be like plonking in the middle of Indonesia. Like they didn't scan for that long. I'm gonna say for verdict, not guilty for Googling, insufficient for scripting. I feel like scripting is a little bit more difficult for me to say is for sure guilty. But maybe we'll see a more obvious or better example like later in this video when we review different cases. But I'm going to say insufficient because I'm just not sure and I don't want to say guilty for guilty and then not guilty for Googling because there's nothing to Google. Alright, looks like this one we got a no-move game. Rating range 1,200 to 1,500, duels played 200 to 300. Off the bat, I'm only a 950 elo range, so I feel a little unqualified to review this footage of someone who's 1,200 to 1,500 with 200 to 300 duels played, but we're gonna watch the video anyway. But I think someone who's like so high above me in elo, I'm like, there's no way I could know, like, do they know like every meta like about a specific region or something like that? Like this is just like leagues above my skill level. So I think there's probably no chance I go guilty on anything here. I'm probably just gonna do insufficient evidence. I mean, yeah, they kind of just like look at the road, look at the bridge, look at the mountain. This is probably just like some sort of like really iconic place that they have memorized. Looks like they're scanning in the map for something specific. I mean, they weren't really even that close, to be honest. Like, there's a pretty big distance between, well, they switched over at the end. Um, I mean, yeah, I feel like with like this like elo range for like the review, I just have to go insufficient evidence. Like I don't know. I don't think they're googling for sure because I mean, what was there even to Google? There's no move and there wasn't any script around, but scripting like I feel like this is something that you might just know at the elo level. And I feel unqualified to think it's scripting since I'm way a lot elo below this. So I'm gonna go not guilty for googling and then insufficient for scripting because I don't know about scripting. Okay, we've got the next person. Looks like it might be the same like person who got reported from multiple rounds. They're moving. It's 1200 to 1500, 200 to 300 duels played. They don't move, even though it's a moving round, which is a little weird. I mean, I feel like if you're playing moving, like 5 to 10 seconds, like if you're not like insta guessing, then why are you not moving, right? Like they're not even moving down the road now. Okay, they just started. Um, they're going back to the start. They're moving forward. They see a sign on the left. They see flags on the right. They see the name of like a school or something, like a building. I mean, they're zooming in on like mostly Indo here, which I'm pretty sure those are like Malay flags on the right, so I don't know. I mean, is it possible they're Googling here? There's a ton of information they could Google, I guess, but I don't know. I mean, looks like they're maybe scanning for something like they see on the sign. Doesn't look like they're staring too much. Um, I mean, they did find something here, like a name. Let me see if that was the name on the sign. Oh, it was like the name on the sign, but do I ever think they're Googling it? I mean, it could just be like a really big city, like in Sabah or Sarawak. Um, oh, you can skip case. Hold on. Okay, I feel like it's like a bug because I saw the option to skip case, but it won't let me skip case like the whole time. I think for this one, because I can't skip it, I'm gonna just say insufficient for both Googling and scripting. Like I think it's entirely possible that they could have done either, but I'm not 100% sure, and I'm also really a lot lower elo than the person in this duel, so I'm gonna go insufficient for both. All right, next up we've got a moving duel, 500 to 600 elo range, 100 to 200 duels played. Let's see. Um, huh? Okay, so they insta-plonked it in Santiago, but where is the actual 5K? Um, okay. I feel like it's not a Google, right? Because we don't really see like any signs or anything anywhere, but I mean, scripting, I mean like they didn't scan at all. They were like insta on the 5K, like literally within a second. Like they didn't even like take 2 seconds to zoom into the map. Like I don't know how it got there so quickly on the 5K. I'm gonna say guilty for scripting. I feel like this is like probably the first like clear case I've seen of it. I mean, they don't have that many duels. Like they literally like they didn't even zoom into the map. Like it was already on the 5K. Like is that not? Let me watch this one more time. I wish I could like make this map zoom down, but right? Like it has to be scripting. I think it's scripting. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, I'm confident that that's scripting because they didn't even to zoom into the map, right? Like Yeah, there's like literally no zoom. It's just like from above. Like I don't even know if I could do that for like most countries, like from above, from that far. Like I'm at least zooming into the country to go into the capital or something, or like plonk in the middle. But they did that from like all the way zoomed out. Like I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna say guilty for scripting and not guilty for Googling. All right, looks like we got another duel. I think it's the same person. Moving 5 to 600 elo, 1 to 200 duels played. Okay, yeah, this is another instantaneous one. I'm gonna say it's pretty similar situation to the last one, I think, because it's also the same person. Not guilty for Googling because there's nothing to really Google. Scripting is guilty because they're on the 5K at the very start and they're not even zooming into the map. I mean, like, I feel like at the very least you gotta pretend to zoom into where the location is, but they're even plonking it from like the zoomed out like country view. I just saw a spider on my wall, that's why I looked over there. It's still crawling and I don't know what to do about it. So I'm gonna say guilty for scripting. Okay, next case. All right, looks like it's the third duel by this person. We've got moving 500 to 600 elo, 1 to 200 duels played. This one they're taking a little bit more time. It's a moving duel though, so they're still not like moving around, which is really weird, and they're not zooming into the map either. Like maybe they're waiting for their script to run because I feel like, oh, they are turning around this time, which is interesting. It might be a different person. So let me like go from the mindset that this is not the same person and not assume they're connected. They're looking around, although they were stood still for a long time at the beginning. Okay, they're looking at the poles, the cars, maybe the language. Some of this clicking is a little strange. Like, why are they like going so angular weirdly around the location? Okay, let me look back at the beginning again with like this new mindset. So in Quebec, maybe haven't zoomed into the map yet, haven't moved, and it's like what, 5 to 10 seconds into the moving match. I feel like that's weird unless they like somehow like disconnect, reconnected. So like let's pretend in best case scenario that happened. They're getting into the match now, looking at the bus, looking at the building. Like, are they even zooming into, like, you know, license plate, a sign? They're kind of just, like, clicking everywhere, right? Like, it doesn't look like they're going down. They zoomed in randomly to what? The front license plate, the pole. I feel like this clicking movement is so weird. It's like going around in angles, right? You're not, like, zooming into a specific place and, like, you know, going further and further and further. Like, they're going, like, almost like in a circle around a place. Yeah, I think this is really weird. Like, that doesn't seem like movement that's natural. I'm gonna say guilty for scripting, not guilty for Googling. Well, I guess there was a lot to Google. I'm gonna say insufficient for Googling. Because I'm not sure there, but I think they're definitely scripting because, like, the movement is just so weird when they're actually placing their pins. Like, how they're going in, like, a certain, like, shape around the actual point. I'm gonna say guilty here. All right, looks like we got a duel, 1,000 and 1,100 elo, 0 to 100 duels played. I don't even know how you get up that far with that little amount of duels, but maybe it's someone's smurf or they're just like extremely good, but let's see. Or they might be playing just like a bunch of single player. Okay, they look around, it's moving. They are moving a little bit. They go down the road. They see the little house in the back. They come upon the sign. They look off the sign. They're looking closer at this building with some words on it. Okay, but they're not staying on it too long. And they're kind of just scanning in, plunking Nepal, scanning for some sort of city, looks like, going capital. Yeah, this seems like a normal... This doesn't seem that bad. This seems like a normal, like, scanning and looking for information. Like, they moved around, they looked at what I think they would look at. I think Googling, I'm going to say... I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty confident that they're not scripting because they looked at like a lot of the information I think you would look at this level. And in Googling, I don't think they Googled because there wasn't much that they could Google anyway. So I'm going to say not guilty here. All right, next up we've got another moving Round 1000, 1100 elo, 0 to 100 duels played. Let's watch it. Let's watch this round. Okay. Looks like they see the sign, the flag. They zoom in a little bit. Trying to read the bottom of it, but it's a little bit hard. It says Java on it though. They see the flag, the motorcycle, the plants and everything. Looking at the houses, maybe the shape of the houses. Looking at the language here on the sign. Moving a little bit. I mean, they got really close, but I think that's just, like, luck. Like, they might have, like, read some sort of, like, something about, like, the Kabupaten, maybe. Like, I don't know if that was on there, or something about a location and then been like, oh, that's in South Sumatra, and gotten really nearby. I suppose it's possible that they could have Googled, but they would have had to type really, really quickly. I'm going to say insufficient for Googling, because I don't think they did, but I'm, like, not 100% sure. Scripting, I don't think so. Like, I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to go insufficient evidence for both. This one's a little bit more weird than the last one, but I have to assume that they're separate people, I think, and go case by case. So I'm going to go insufficient here. All right, we got another case. 1000 to 1100 elo, 0 to 100 duels played. We got concrete. Oh, wow, that was quick. Let me see this again. They just see the pole and like the concrete, and they kind of just chuck it in northeast Thailand. I mean, listen, is it ever just like you see like the flat area in the back, a little bit of the hills, and you're like, I'm just plonking it in Thailand, perhaps in an area where you think that could be seen? I think it's possible. There's absolutely nothing to Google here, so I'm going to say for sure not Googling. Scripting, I mean, it could be maybe, but I think this is just a good region guess and probably just like a plonk in the right region. Like, they're not even like exactly on the 5K. I'm going to say insufficient for scripting and Googling not guilty. All right, that's going to be it for this investigations video. Thank you so much for watching this video of me trying to do investigations in Geoguessr for the first time. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comments. Also tell me things that I should look out for when I'm doing investigations for both scripting and Googling. And if you've ever done this before, then what are things that you look out for specifically for each of those two different things? So thank you so much again for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to French Vanilla, and have a great day.